Discover College Soccer podcast is sponsored by VIO. VIO is the #1 AI camera solution helping players capture college recruitment videos. Check out their new starter and family options by clicking on the link in the description or visit Discover College Soccer to learn more. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Discover College Soccer. Today, I'm lucky enough to be joined by Coach Damon Neish from Herkimer College up in New York. Welcome, Coach.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. You guys are a 2-year program up kind of between Albany and Syracuse. Lovely part of New York up there. Probably a lot cooler than we are down here in Florida right now.
Yeah, it's nice up here just now. We get some. The winters get incredibly cold. The summers get pretty nice, but we don't have to worry about passing out on the turf or anything like that with the heat. So it's nice. A nice place to be.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. Well, um, let's talk a little bit about recruiting. You know, we're talking here end of July, uh, and I know the 2-year colleges have a little bit of a different calendar. Especially compared to some of the other schools, Division I and whatnot. But so, I guess the right question for me to ask right now is your class of 23 done? Or are you still looking to add a couple more before the season starts?
No, we think we're pretty much done. So if we were to start tomorrow, we'd be incredibly happy with our class. With it, being a junior college, there's always room for people coming in. We always have room to accommodate. I try not to pack the squad out too much, so we're sitting at 23 players right now, which is actually this is going to be my third year. This is the most players I've ever had. But we don't want to get close to 30. We don't want 26, 27, 28 players. We're quite happy to have 20 to 24 players, with injuries and all the rest of it. Players come here to play. So we're not recruiting people for 3-4 years down the line or development projects. We want girls that are maybe not being really happy with their offers from 4-year schools, maybe not being promised the playing time, maybe academics aren't quite there and they've got something to prove. We want girls that are wanting to come in and from day one stamp their authority on our program and really be pushing to get to the next level.
That's fantastic. Well, I recruited from a few junior colleges back in my day, but I know that it can be challenging filling that roster every senior, and you're constantly reloading. You're recruiting really twice as much as a 4-year school. So where are the places you like to go, whether tournament wise, or I mean, do you look at a lot of high school soccer? Kind of where's your fertile recruiting ground that you like to use?
Yeah, so we're really lucky here up in the northeast that there's a really vibrant club soccer program around between New York, New Jersey, Vermont, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts. There's a really vibrant soccer community. So where we are just now, we're right in the middle of Syracuse and Albany. We're really blessed around here because we've got some fantastic soccer clubs. Are in this area, in this area that compete within the ECNL, the Girls Academy, or within DPL, a bunch of different local leagues as well. So there's a ton that we have locally that keeps me interested. I try and get out during the fall season to as many high school games as I can, but we've got so many, like I say, club teams, club competitions around. We just got back. I actually just got back from Ohio. I was there for the DPL National Championships. I was in Boston for the Surf College Showcase a month or two ago. Pennsylvania just had the Hershey tournament. So within a 5-6 hour drive down here, the Girls Academy, National Championships, and all that. So we've got so much within the Northeast that I try and get around. I work with club teams as well, a club team as well, with Coliseum Soccer Club. So I managed to get to these as a coach and as a recruiter as well. But yeah, the Northeast has got so much good soccer going on that we really are lucky to be able to. One week I can be out in Boston, the next week down in Long Island, the next week in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and it's all relatively close.
Yeah. Well, one of the questions folks always ask me though is, how much is it me, doing some outbound communication versus, oh, I always hear that the good players are going to get found kind of thing. So when you're at an event, let's say you're at a tournament in Hershey or wherever, how much of it is you going to see players that you have had contact with versus you're sitting down to a game because it's a Syracuse team versus a Harrisburg team, and those are kind of both in your area, and you think maybe I might have some luck here.
Yeah, so a lot of it is me looking on the websites to see the older age groups, kind of who's playing who, and what teams are from this sort of area. Because mostly we get players from around about 3-4 hours away. 4 hours away is kind of the max of where we get. We've got a couple of girls coming from abroad and a girl coming from Georgia this year, and that's just with having good contacts in some places. But when we're going to the tournaments and things like that, really, it's sometimes players will reach out. Sometimes we'll get emails from players. Hi, I'm going to be at surf tournament this weekend, and they'll send their schedule and stuff like that, and we'll have a look at it. On the whole, though, it's more for me personally. I tend to reach out to the coaches of these teams, and I'll send an email first saying, "Hey, I'm going to be there. I got an email from one of your players. Um, would love to touch base with you at the tournament or afterwards. If you're too busy, please, here's my cell number. Please let me know if you're available." And a lot of the times, the coach will get back to me just saying, "Hey, yeah, we'd love to chat to you," or that, and then I can kind of build a better relationship with the coach. The coach has got a better relationship with 18 to 20 of their players. So, a lot of the emails we get will be mass sent out, someone sending an email to every coach that's going to be at an event. There are people that I know that we know that are reaching out to us because they have an interest in here, but a lot of people are just sending mass emails out. So I try and touch base with coaches, and then that way, I'll say, "Oh, Stephanie sent me an email. She was, saying, have you had much talk to her much about her plans when she graduates high school?" And it'll be, "Oh yeah, she's really got her sights set on a D1, D2 school. These are her kind of schools." Or, "No, I've not really spoken to her. She's kind of quiet. I don't know if she's going to play in college or whatever." And that'll give me more of a basis to then when I speak to the player or reach out to the player through phone, I'll have a bit better understanding of what their thoughts are.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Now, do you guys do any ID camps, or do you or your staff work any camps? Do they fit in at all?
Uh, I've not put any ID camps on for the general public. I've put this year, my first year, I've worked with a number of high schools in our local area to provide an evening where they can come and use the facilities or whatever. And any player that wants to come, they can do it as a high school practice or whatever. And then it gives me an opportunity if any parents want to or players want to speak to us about our program or about the academics here. I have a bunch of information about our courses and about our soccer program and can speak to them. But I've tried to do that more than any sort of ID clinic. Just that I like getting out and trying to help the community and being an option for the community. We run high school leagues here at our facility as well. So, it gives us an opportunity to bring in players who maybe are a little bit shy about whatever they want to do or haven't thought about it or are looking to play soccer and still haven't made a decision and maybe the junior college route is something that they've not really considered because they don't know much about it. So I try and get those players in so we can show them, what we offer, how we can help them take the next step, and all the rest of the good stuff.
Okay, great. Well, I know that one of the big selling points that I keep telling people about junior colleges is the cost savings, right? So, um, and I'm not holding you to hard numbers here, but can you just give me what the financial aid situation, packages, costs look like for an average student athlete coming into your team? Do you offer athletic or is it just academic, or what kind of costs might they see even if they're not from New York?
So the So we don't offer any sort of athletic scholarships. We're all academic scholarships with financial aid. I think so. Our tuition's around about is a little smidgen over $5,000 a year with financial aid. I think the average person pays around about 2.5 a year with financial aid.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a big saving. It's a big saving. You've then got living expenses on top of that. But for the tuition, it's with financial aid. If there are people within the state and within our area, then there's a lot of kids that pay nothing at all. If you're out with the area or out with the state, like I said, with financial aid, the most that they will pay is, I think it's 5,100 and change.
Yeah.
But with financial aid, the average student ends up paying about $2,500 a year. Which we have, some fantastic academic courses here. We've got a lot of incredible transfer agreements with schools, and we're now building a lot of good relationships with soccer programs in and out of the state, so that players have opportunities to go and play at the next levels. And then one of the big selling points for the school for me as well, not for me, but for the athletes, is that we try and run a program that is very similar to D1, D2 schools. I've done some visits to D1 programs, to D2 programs, and we're trying to mirror a lot of the things that that players will see when they step out of here into there, so that when they walk in the door there, it's not deer and headlights kind of thing. They can step in day one, and they're used to having the StatSport GPS stuff. They've got the huddle. They can break down film properly. They can do all these things that are that when you're going into a program and maybe coming from a junior college or from a club program that doesn't spend that much time or money to go over these things, they can look at, how do I break down film? How do I watch a game? I'm not just watching a game. I'm looking for this, that, or the other. How do I assess my performance as a winger, centre midfielder, centre defender? How do we do that? How do we get the data analysis from the GPS stuff, and what does that mean in relation to our game, not just numbers on paper? So one of the big things that we try and do is not just make a successful program, win games here, which is always important, as you know, but make sure that when players walk out of here and walk into the next place, whether it be a D1, D2, D3 school, a semi-pro, a pro, go abroad, whatever, that when they walk in the door, that they're comfortable, that they can focus on their soccer, and they're not, taken back by, oh my God, I have to do this, or I have to do that, or I have to wear this, or I need to do this, or whatever. So that's a big thing for me, for what we're trying to do here.
Okay, great. Well, let's talk a little bit more about the school. You've been there a few years now. Kind of what have you found to be just the amazing, terrific selling points of the school? Maybe some things about the school we wouldn't know just by going through the website.
Yeah, so one of the nicest things about our school is our location. We're up in central New York, so we're right in the middle of Albany, Syracuse. We're about 3.5 hours from Manhattan. 45 minutes away from Albany, an hour away from Syracuse, but we're in a really nice little isolated area. Herkimer's a nice little town, but our campus is a beautiful, beautiful campus on top of the hill. You can see right out onto the valley. Some beautiful scenes, nice and secure. We have a secluded campus, so safety is a big selling point, especially for young females who may be leaving home for the first time, coming to live. We have one of the most secure campuses in junior colleges. We've got a fantastic teacher to student ratio. We have small class sizes, so again, there's a lot more of the interpersonal relationships that work for our student athletes. So when a student comes here, not only are they getting a high level of soccer education, but they're getting the one-on-one time with teachers. They're getting a lot of FaceTime in the classroom with people. It's a blessing and a curse. I saw all the teachers know all the athletes. We're a big athletic school. So for these kids that have come in here, they can't fade into the background. The teachers know them. The president comes to our game. She's got her own box up in the press suite. So, they'll be walking through the halls, and the president of the college will be stopping our players and saying what a great game it was and all the rest of it. So we're a small college. But like I said, there's a lot of emphasis put on interpersonal relationships, getting to know this area, working within our community, and really getting the best soccer and academic experience that is physically possible for a player.
Awesome. Well, let's fast forward to October, and you're in the heart of the season. Kind of walk me through what a typical week might look like for the players in terms of when there's practice, classes, games, meal times, or whatever else that makes sense to be thrown in there.
So when once we get into the heart of the season, that once we get through the preseason, which preseason has its own challenges, we do about a 3-week preseason before we start. In that time, we go and play some games and a lot of hard work. Once we get into the season, we tend to play 2 games a week. So we'll play on, say, a Wednesday and a Saturday. The day after we play a game, we don't practice. We only do recovery work. So the girls will come in usually, and they'll ice bath. They'll do some yoga. They'll use our facilities. They've got the bikes, whatever they need to do. They get information away for them. So whenever they play the game again, they're required to, well, not required, but we try and encourage them to get the 8 hours sleep, to drink properly, to eat properly, proper recovery. It's an intense season. And I think when I stepped into the job a few years ago, I don't think there was enough emphasis for the players that were here on recovery and looking after their body and making sure they were properly prepped. So you've got 2 game days, you've got 2 recovery days, so that gives us 3 days left for practices. So generally, what it will be, again, different days with different things, but the girls will have their classes in the morning. We tend to practice at 3 p.m. So they're done their classes generally about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. We practice 3 to 4:30 usually, but no later than 5. We give them that time that if they need to study, if they want to get jobs to work, if they need to do anything else, they want to have a social life, they're usually done with practice by 5 o'clock. One day of the week, we'll have video analysis. So we'll do video 3 to 3:45, 4 o'clock, and then it's usually 4 to 5 we practice. It's usually the day before a game or the day 2 days after a game. We'll break down or we'll look at big games coming up, and it'll generally be an easier session, a walkthrough, shadow play, little things like that, working on corners or set pieces, so that we know that we can get everything in that hour. So yeah, we'll have two practices based on upcoming games. One practice will be a video breakdown, and then set pieces or shadow play or whatever like that. So the girls, like I say, the girls know they coming in, they've got 2 games, they have 3 practices, and they've got 2 recovery days. That's how their week's broken down. Practices are 3 to 5. After 5 o'clock, they'll do whatever they need to do for the recovery, and then the evening is theirs if they need to go and work, study, have a social life, do all the things that they want to. I don't really believe in or like this. We'll practice 7 to 8 o'clock or practice late. I like having it done and letting the girls experience being a student as well. So that's a big thing for me when the girls come here, that there's a lot of focus on soccer. We ask a lot of them, but we also give them the freedom to be students, to have a good time and be social or work or do whatever they need to do.
Awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit more about the soccer part, right? We talked about being in season. So how would you describe kind of your style of coaching and the team style of play?
So the biggest thing for me, for my style, I would say, is we want to build confidence within the girls. We want, like I said, a big factor of what we do here is getting them prepared, be that with the video analysis, the GPS stuff, all that sort of stuff, so that they're used to it and they're comfortable with it. It's the same as when they go on the soccer field. We want them to be comfortable. We want them to know their positions, what their roles and responsibilities are, and we want them to play with the freedom and confidence to go and play well. So we want to challenge them in that way. So I suppose year to year it changes. 2 years ago, we wanted to be a possession-based team where we held the ball and we played. And then last year, we had a big turnover, a lot of new players. We tried that to start off with, didn't work out, so we changed it a little bit. I personally, I like scoring goals. I like good games. I like we played games last year that we won and it was great. We had games last year that we lost and we came off the field and said, you know what, it's just one of those games. We played well. We came up against a good team, but we attacked. We tried things. We weren't. We tried to do that. That's the biggest thing that we encourage. We encourage the girls to be expressive. We want to build confidence within them, and part of that is them knowing their roles and responsibilities, what's expected of them. So at the end of the day, we can say, listen, we're playing with two wingers. We really want to get these wingers on the ball, left or right, doesn't matter. We want them on the ball. And when they get on the ball, we want you to attack players. We want you to take players. And I don't care if you get tackled 9 times out of 10. I want you trying it to get better. I want my strikers to hold the ball up. I want my midfielders to link. I want my fullbacks to be up and overlapping. I want my centre defenders to be loud and obnoxious and all the rest of it. So these are the things that we've set out at the start. These are what is expected of you. And then, of course, there's different levels of ability, different levels of experience. So we can't always play the same way. We can't always, say we're going to be a team that plays for crossing and finishing, or because we might not have the wingers that are comfortable doing that. So we might, we want to play more centrally. We want to be more compact and play shorter stuff. We might say that we want to miss the midfield altogether and look for the striker. It depends on year to year. We certainly recruit with a vision in mind, but when the girls walk in the door in 2-3 weeks of pre-season, the first couple of games, we might say, okay, this isn't working. How do we change this? How do we become more successful? And that a lot of that comes down to conversations with the players. Why isn't this working for you? Why are you not doing what we're asking, or what is it? And a lot of the time it'll be, I'm just not comfortable doing that, or I've never played there, or I've never been asked to do that. And so we can break it down. Okay, so let's try and get you. Let's try and get you further in the field. Let's try and get you on the ball more by dropping you deeper. Let's try a different position for you. So I wouldn't say I have a way of playing, or our team has got a way of playing. Like I said, the biggest thing is we're trying to build confidence. We want girls who want to be on the ball. We don't like, I personally don't like players who just get rid of the ball. I like players who want the ball, who want to be on it, who want to keep it. And through that comes, trying to build confidence within them. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
I'd say that's my biggest thing.
All right, awesome. Well, we've talked about a lot of different things, Coach. I like to end these all the same way, and that is if you had one piece of advice, one nugget of information you'd love to share with parents, players, families, anybody going through the college recruitment process, what would that be?
What I would say, coming from a junior college, is be open-minded. I think a lot of people, a lot of players, a lot of families have their dream scenario. And in college soccer now, we've got the transfer portal. We have junior colleges. I think people get stuck very quickly on one thing. I want to play at Clemson. I want to play at North Carolina. I'd love to be the coach at North Carolina, but there's a process to it, and there's only so many players. 5-6 players taken to these big schools. So it's good to have that dream. But if that's not happening for you right away, how do you end up getting there? And the conversation I have with a lot of people who haven't thought about the junior college route is, listen, you're not being offered the things, or maybe you are being offered from the school that you want, but you're not being promised. They're saying you're going to have to come in, maybe redshirt for a year. So are there other options that can help you get to that? Because you don't need to be there straight away. One of the things I always say to players here is, once you get your degree from your 4-year school, if you go and play at Syracuse, it doesn't say studied here for 4 years. It just says, degree or a bachelor's or whatever. So if you get there going through the junior college route, if you get there going to another school and then transferring in there after 2 years. It doesn't, bit of paper you get doesn't say played at a junior college for two, or studied at a junior college for 2 years and then came to it. Just has your degree. Your path to get there may be different from what you want, but just because you're not getting the offer right now doesn't mean you can't get an offer a year, 2 years down the line if you keep your options open. So that would be the biggest piece of advice I would give to players and parents. Be open-minded. If you don't get your 1A, 1B, 1C offer, you don't automatically have to go down to your 2, 3, 4. You can, but maybe there's another option through a junior college, through someone else that can help you get there.
Well, I'm going to add a PS question then. So because I forgot to ask this earlier,
Sure.
of the girls who want to continue on and play at a 4-year school, what how has the success of that placement been for the girls who come through your program?
So this is I'm going into my third year. So last year we had some success. We had players going on and playing at 4-year schools. The year before that, we had a couple of going into it. I'm trying to build a program here that is successful on the field. We want to win regionals and national titles. That is our goal and ambition. But that's not my job description. Me personally, my own job description that I make for myself. My job description for myself is to help these players get to the next level. And that could be a 4-year school. It could be that they want to go and play in Europe or somewhere. It could be that they want to go straight from junior college and go and try playing in Iceland or France or England or Scotland, where I'm from. So again, relationships are critical to be able to know what those things are. So I'm trying to build this program with a lot of help from the college, and build relationships with 4-year schools, D1, D2, D3, to try and help our players take the next step. That's my biggest mission, more than winning games, championships, whatever. Hopefully by doing that, we will be able to do those things. But, my biggest thing is meeting a player, understanding where they want to go or what their ambitions are, and then how do we help them get to that? So does a coach so let's say Syracuse, are they looking at a D3 junior college for players to come and play? Maybe. Can you be an All-American for 2 years? Can you help the program? Can you be big in the community and be helpful and be, that good person? Then we can help you. If, you're just going to come here, be part of the team, help us, but not really push yourself to get these individual and team accolades, then probably not. So again, it's really having that relationship with other coaches, other schools, and the players coming in.
Awesome. Well, Coach, wish you the best of luck this fall. Really thank you for your time, and we'll check in on you, see how you do, and hopefully you'll be bringing home one of those regional championship banners.
Appreciate your time. Thank you for your time, Matt.
Thank you, Coach.
Have a great one.
Hi, everybody. It's Matt from Discover College Soccer. I hope you're enjoying the podcast, whether that's on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I also wanted to let you know about the Discover College Soccer Study Table. This is our brand new online portal that is complete with a 14-part online course giving you all of the ins and outs of the college soccer recruiting process. There's also a wealth of resources such as checklists, templates. There's the spreadsheets that have every soccer program in the country along with their coaches, their contact information, their social media information, some basic stats about the school, and more. Plus, there's an online community where you can ask your questions, share your wins, your losses, any questions that you may have around the college soccer recruiting process. It's all there at the Discover College Soccer Study Table that you can find at discovercollegesoccer.com/study table, and hopefully we will see you there.